Here was the process. We have an envelope, and within that envelope, any free flow spare cash left over goes in that envelope. That envelope is to not be touched. Whatever leftover money, dollars, $5, $10, $20, $50 in there, it's $100 in there, it stays. And it's an in-house savings account. And once it reaches a stack or a couple grand, what have you, we take that money, deposit in the bank, and we repeat the process over and over. But the goal is to not touch that money. Unique, I would like to know if you can educate me. What are the pros and cons of saving the way we're trying to save and having the money put aside and just build on it and watch it grow for the excitement, or having it in your pocket just available for spending the cash? What's your thoughts?
Money.
Finger cooking.
Well, I definitely think being able to save your money is always beneficial. You just never know when things are going to happen. You never know certain things that could come about throughout your day. One day I was trying to use my Visa card, and apparently Visa actually had like a nationwide situation that they were trying to deal with where none of my cards were working at all. Now, if I was to have cash or an emergency cash and I could be able to get gas and just simple things, because I do got the money, but yet I can't use my cards, then that's when that emergency fund comes in. So it is important to, of course, have your money, saved and, stacked up just for a rainy day.
Right.
But the cons is doing it with someone. You do have to make sure you and that person are on the same page when it comes to being able to save and being able to keep it saved, not spend, on just crazy things, not spending on just whatever you want. So you and that person definitely have to be on the same mindset, and it can't be on, too much of my money this and my money that, and I did this amount and you did this amount. If we are doing it together, it needs to be done together, jointly as a teamwork.
So I agree. And I agree because, one, I don't want to be the one dipping into the money and you go to check, hey, listen, what we're supposed to be doing? Did we forget the game plan? Did I lose sight of something? What happened? And no one's looking crazy, because this is a growth. This is a joint thing, right? And if we can be mindful and responsible with each other with this little bit that we're trying to grow on, when we do have, a few thousands or whatever the case is, 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is we choose to grow it to, and we put that in the bank, or even split it down the middle. Hey, here is your $5,000, here's my $5,000. We build it together, which should go into a joint account. I'm just saying, but in due time, in due season, right?
Right.
We have that access. We have that. We're on one accord to understand how we're going to handle our money. But I want to shift it to something. The reason why I believe, and I watch a lot of Dave Ramsey, right? I'm big on finances. I'm big on budgeting. The problem is sticking to it, right? And thinking long term, not just short term Amazon shopping. As soon as you get paid, you notice how the money just slowly leaks out your pocket. And now at the end of the month, you realize, man, where did it all go?
Right.
And then you slowly realize that now you're living from check to check when you don't have to, because you get the money, you got it, you're excited, you want to spend it, you want to splurge, but this ain't that season to do so. So here's my take on it. It's easy to use a credit card / debit card, because you have to do is just wave a wand. You wave, you swipe, you go. You wave, you swipe, and you go. But when it comes to cash, have some hundreds. Have the hundreds, because first of all, ain't nobody gonna take 100. Very rarely, unless you spending 60, 70 bucks in gas, they'll take it. They'll of course hold the money in the air before they put it in their register.
You gotta check it first.
Right. But you having hundreds because you're less likely it's an emotional detachment when you give somebody 100 and then break it, or you got to go to the ATM and get change. But for me to sort of deceive my own mind not to touch it, I'll go to the bank and withdraw $200 or $300 bills, right? And I'll just keep that on me. Perhaps it's not the wisest decision. I'm just careful with where I go with me putting it in my wallet. Now I'm gonna have to change up my game because we telling them the game plan, right?
Yeah.
But my point is, it prevents me personally from spending unnecessary money. It helps me understand that, okay, I got cash readily available. Somebody might ask me for change. Sorry, buddy, I ain't got it for you right now. Can I pause on that real quick?
Yeah.
I do try to keep 10s and 20s because I know that there are homeless folks and folks who don't have as much as we have. I know that they're without. So I want to be able to give them 10 or 20. And I did. And I went to the gas station the same day I gave this lady like $20. It was my last, no, it wasn't my last in cash. It was a heavy amount. And I think I only had like $10 to get in gas. So I put the $10 in my car. I get to the gas pump and I swipe. First I'm looking at it. It says pull nozzle, you know, it's
Right.
telling you to pull a nozzle. And I'm thinking, I ain't even put my card in. I'm like, what? Pull a nozzle? Let me see this real quick. So I took the nozzle off the thing, you know, I hit, 87, whatever, premium. And then I put it in the car and gas started pumping. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my gosh. Now, mind you, I could have just taken somebody else's gas. So I stood there and I waited. I'm waiting till folks come out the gas station. I'm waiting till folks drive off and I'm moving very slow. I could have easily took the gas. And so I pumped. I got my $10 of free gas, if you will. And I drove off. But I waited. True story. Maybe 2 months ago, give or take. And I put the money. Well, I didn't put the money in the car at all. I just drove off. I waited. I took my time. I was looking for folks to come out the store. I was looking for people to come to the pump and say, hey, we put that money on the wrong pump, man. You know, and I would have been happy to put the gas in their car to reimburse that $10, right?
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps it could have been a slight blessing from God because
No,
I took my
100%.
time and I waited.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
Right. Just giving back to someone else. So, folks, I did curve the conversation a little bit because this is about finance, but make sure you're giving. Don't be selfish with your money. You got something and you know you got it and you see this, and even if you may not like them and your discernment is, hey, I'm gonna get you some food. I got you. You need food to drink and that's it. But if you smoking and drinking, we ain't having this conversation. You're gonna be thirsty and hungry tonight. But if I know you need some food and you're like, hey man, listen, I don't even need no money from you. If you could just go out there, go into 7-Eleven and get me a hot dog, a chili dog, I got you. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And I just think, we're not necessarily giving to receive, but please don't think that you need to be receiving many blessings without ever blessing anyone ever.
Right.
So we're not doing this for anything in return, but at the same time, it's still just very grateful for if you do have it and you are able to help, why not? Because you would definitely want the same if anything was to happen where the tables was turned and you're in a sticky situation. So definitely, again, we're not necessarily doing this to receive anything, but if you do have it to where you can bless someone and actually help out with someone, then why not, you know? So that was definitely a really great thing that you did. And I seen you personally, give money, give what you can, you know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be money either. I definitely seen you give what you can. And I do know a few people that are able to give other ways rather than cash or money. But either way, again, it's just all about helping and doing what's right and what's wrong. We all know what's right and what's wrong. So kudos to you though. Good job.
Okay, I
like
appreciate that. I appreciate. Back to the conversation of finances and like knowing how to situate your money. There's many forms of disciplines. There's apps. There's counselors. There's advisors. There's people who can manage money. There's secretaries who can manage money. There's people who still balance checks. Give me balance checks. People who balance their checks. There's many forms of money. But in these times where you can spend money without thinking of it, just by waving your card in front of a machine, you don't see it leak from your account. So at least while we still have currency, paper currency, before it becomes digital, before it becomes, in a chip or encrypted in a QR code, everybody's, theories and philosophies, which is somewhat coming to pass. It's already in production. Just make sure you're putting away for hard times.
Absolutely. And another thing too is that we just want to, at the end of the day, for the most part, we all kind of know how the system works and we kind of know what's going on when it comes to the government. The same bag of chips that you bought maybe in 2010 is not the same price as it is now. So we do want to make sure that we are preparing ourselves for the inflation that's going on, the rise in taxes, the rise in everything. I mean, I just don't know what things are going to be a year from now, 2 years from now. So you do just want to prepare yourself and already get you and your family in a predicament to, if push comes to shove and we do need to have some type of savings, some type of backup, we got that, so anytime is a great time to start when it comes to saving, preparing yourself for whatever the future may hold.
Word. Earl Nightingale, one of my favorite authors. I do listen to old time classic publisher of mine. He said something like this: if something was to happen to your income for the next 12 months, how would you take care of your family? Since I heard that, this was a few years ago, before COVID. Since I heard that, I'm thinking, if something happens to my occupation right now, would I be able to take care of my household for the next year? It's an excellent question. If I was to be honest and answer the question right now, yes, I would be able to take care of my household for the next 12 months. Heaven forbid something was to happen to my income. I would furthermore I'll be more than comfortable to take care of my household, because I know, hey, listen, I can also sell my car and profit off of the car that I got right now. Absolutely. So not only is this material things, it's liability because cars lose value, but understand you still have assets. You have your net worth. Sure, you can take up all your debts. You can take up everything that you owe, and you can take up all your assets. I don't care if it's books, TVs, necklaces, chain, jewelry, cars, shoes, all of the above, cell phones you can resell. You have assets and money in the bank that you have, not your income, because that's not an asset. That's just monthly recurring income. Like you have monthly recurring debts, light, water, etc. Right? Rent. Those are all debt, or those are all revolving debts, if you will. But my point is understanding that if something was to happen, I can take care of my household in that 12-month window, which wasn't always the case. So if I was to make a suggestion to any of you, I would say this: just ask yourself this question. And some of you have cars that you make payments on. Let's not be foolish and make that mistake again. I myself is guilty as well, because Dave Ramsey told me us not to finance another nothing if possible, unless it's on a house on a 15-year fixed income. Right? Do with that information as you may. Everybody has their own plan, their own budget, their own lifestyle that suits them. I understand that. Am I taking too long?
No.
Okay. When it comes to the finance and the budgeting portion of this, understand that if something was to happen, such as another COVID, another breakout, another influenza virus, or what have you, understand that if something was to happen, am I able to take care of my family? Ask yourself that question. I preferably do not want to run into a situation where I have to all of a sudden panic because I'm not prepared. Like folks who lose their internet connection. Hey, I do business from my internet. I do business from my home. And I understand that. Hey, I have medically. I understand that. Have a plan B so no one's looking crazy. Now you're not complaining to the company about problems that you should have taken care of, and now you want them to deal with the scrutiny of things when you had the ability to do it, but you neglected to do so.
Absolutely. And to piggyback off of what you said too, you made great points. But I do want to point out there are some people who might not necessarily have, or might have it but are able to lose it, as far as any type of car or any type of things that they can sell in order to make some type of profit. So there are some people that don't have anything really, or not much, to gain some type of income if they were to lose their job, which is where I definitely want to kind of put into people's perspective or into people's mindset. Is my mom always told me, you got to learn how to do something or have some type of trait that you can do with your hands if anything was to happen. If you were to lose your job today, are you able to make any type of income if you don't have a car to sell, or if you don't have anything to kind of give away? Are you able to make something with your hands, or use your mindset or skill set to make some type of income alone in general? So just having some type of trade or some type of things you do, if you like to cook, you know how to cook, then you better be making them plates,
open up a
selling them
food truck, man. What?
open up food truck, make them plates $10-$20, whatever, like whatever you got to do. At the end of the day, it definitely has to be some type of way that you are able to, like you said, support your family if push comes to shove and you do have a loss of income somehow. If you don't have anything to really give away, or you are kind of struggling in that aspect, having actual skill or a job set that you do know is definitely beneficial. So I always tell people, just pick up some type of trade, whatever you feel like you love to do. Learn how to master that so good that you can actually get paid from it if you need it to.
That part, I concur. That was wisdom. If you are good at something, or if you know you can be good at something, be the master of that craft.
Absolutely.
That's what I got from that. With that being said, here's a few points you can take away, and I'll let Unique share hers if she pleases to do so. 1, save your money. How do you do that? First of all, don't spend as if you're like Congress. Don't be a machine that's just you spending it because you got it like that. You don't. You're going to have revolving debt. Yeah, I know it's going to be things that you want to do. You want to go out. Some of us want to go on dates and vacations, and we want to live our best life. And we got our, vision boards, and we got our plans. And I have an itinerary. Did you get my itinerary message?
Yes,
I sent her an itinerary message of everything we're doing for the month of October. Horseback riding, dinner dates, putting $500 in the savings, making sure we read a new book that we haven't read before. And I sent that to her, maybe like 1 o'clock early this afternoon. Have a plan in place for that month so you know what your money is doing. Saving your money isn't just enough. Know what the money is doing. I got it in my savings account doing what? I'm putting $500 into savings this month or next month for what? I'm going to save that on top of what I got right now, on top of my Roth IRA with the company, or my 401 with the company, on top of my Roth IRA with Merrill Edge, and you get money, you get streams of income flowing. And that's what my pastor is trying to show me now. So that's one way of saving your money, knowing how to move your money. The third thing is, when you do get paid, make sure you give what you ought to give first. I don't think I need to explain that for those who understand where I'm coming from. So I'm going to miss that. I'm going to let you catch that in your spirit. The next conversation: Amazon shopping, Target shopping, Walmart shopping.
We love our Target.
You know what you need. You know what you don't need. You know what you can do without. It feels good to have, a fridge full of food. I understand that. But sometimes you just might have to eat rice and corned beef. Ramen noodles for us. Mm-hmm. But look at what we're doing right now. We don't have to have that lifestyle. But we can choose to heat up some right now if we wanted to and not struggle. It's a good feeling knowing that we can go out right now and eat how we want to eat, and money is not one of our problems right now. By the grace of God, at least in this season, money is not one of our problems. But we ought to be wise. Each and every last one of us, you listeners out there too. I know you want to go out. I know you want to shop. I know you're sick of being in the house. But can your income afford that at the moment? Can your income afford that hit for the moment? You're trying to get out of debt, not increase the debt. Don't you finance another car. Don't be foolish. I know it sounds sweet to hear. It's easy for me to say, and I sure did the same thing with $8,000 more to pay off, but never again. Not if I don't have the cash, I'm not buying it. So that's my last take on what to do with your money. I understand this conversation can get deep real quick. Unique, anything that you want to pass to us to shift us into the atmosphere of knowing how to move our money? What would your suggestion be?
Definitely agree with everything you said, really. When it comes to, not buying it if you don't have it. One of the things that I was told too, if you cannot buy that item 4 different times, to not buy it at all.
Whoa.
So my mom used to tell me that all the time.
That I never heard before, but that's something.
She used to tell me that all the time. I mean, you can take it with a grain of salt if you want to. Don't necessarily have to listen to it, 100%. But what my mom was basically trying to say, you can't afford it if you cannot buy that multiple times. But of course, if you're buying a house or something like that, you're probably not going to have 4 or 5 houses.
Yeah, I follow the concept.
I understood exactly what she meant, though. She definitely was just speaking in terms of unnecessary things and buying things that you just know you have no business doing. One of the things too that I think is very important is just while you are spending your money that you are working every hour for, and you are calculating up a check, and then you give half of your check or whatever to taxes and things like that, and then you still spend that money on companies and brands that are not making you any more money. You are basically giving your money even more to the government and to unnecessary things. So again, if you ever want to actually be able to build an increase and live wealthy, giving your money over and over to unnecessary things is definitely not the way to do it. And I'm learning that myself too. So in general, it's just a growing process, but at some point you do have to look at your finances and ask yourself, is this the same place that I want to be next year? Is this the same place that I want to be next month financially? And if you are realizing that you are living check to check every single month, every other month, something got to give, something got to change, and definitely getting into some books as well will help. So that's all I got to say really to that. This is your girl Unique.
Your boy Connell.
With LIT, not now, but right now. We'll see you next time. Peace.